Just take a moment and acknowledge the loss of a very dear friend of mine and really a mentor and a hero in many ways, our dear Junaid Jamshed. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah accept him among the shuhada. I knew him very briefly. Some of you might know that I wrote about him. I wanted to share something personal with you about him that I came to experience. I didn't have too much interaction with him, but whenever I did, the man had an incredible sense of humor. And what I really respected about him is this young man who was an icon for his nation. I mean, he's basically what defined rock music for Pakistan. And I'm not afraid to admit, when I was younger, I was at virtually every one of his concerts. So I was a huge fan of his, and then I actually got to know him later on in life, after, of course, his transformation towards Allah Azza wa Jal. And we used to talk, and I used to joke around with him all the time. And I used to say, Junaid bhai, I don't really listen to your nasheeds. Your old stuff was awesome though. And he used to say to me, Yaar Nouman, that just means you have really good taste in music, my friend. So just a couple of weeks before it melted my heart, I was in London a few weeks ago, and I wrote to him, I WhatsApped him, and I said, you know, I was driving around and I was humming one of your old songs. Not the religious one. And then you know what he did? He WhatsApped me, he sang the song on WhatsApp, and he sent me a voice note of him singing the song. And then he told me he sang it after 15 years just for me. Man, subhanallah. I was gonna play it for you, but I'm not gonna. So, but in loving memory of our dear brother Junaid, I just want to remind our young generation, this man had no temptation that wasn't in front of him. He had the world at his feet. He could have anything and anyone he wanted. That's literally the position he was in. And whether you agree with his understanding of religion or not, one thing you have to acknowledge, that in your hands, that dunya in your hands, walking away from that, I don't know how many people can do that. I don't know how many people could have that much in their hand and just walk away from it all. And to be part of Pakistani society where criticism and cynicism and tearing somewhere down is part of our genetic DNA, for him to hear the kind of insults he constantly had to hear, for him to be accused in the way that he was, humiliated and even physically beaten the way that he was, is a reminder to all of us. It's a reminder that this ummah can become very harsh, very ignorant, very disrespectful, but that doesn't mean we're going to give up on this ummah like our dear brother Junaid did not give up on this ummah. The last conversation I had with him was actually about visiting Pakistan, because he said, yes, a lot of people say a lot of things about me, but yaar Nouman, hamare log hain, kya kare? There are people, what are we going to do? We have to love them. We have to take care of them. These are the same people who celebrated beating him at the airport. Some of these people are the same people who actually commented with ignorance when he passed away, thanking God that this wretched human being has died, etc. This kind of vileness, Muslims are capable of, and we complain that the non-Muslims are the enemy. We have the audacity to complain that. But what we learn from that is, despite the ignorance and the venom that is found within the folds of this ummah, we are still not going to lose hope in transforming enough of us that we can bring light back to this ummah. We cannot allow that kind of hatred to define us. We cannot. If we think that there's a hatred of the Muslims from the outside, there's an internally existing hatred that needs